Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. As always, I am your host, Tom Downey. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney if you want some more live Cowboys coverage. Today we've got winners and losers from Week 1 of the NFL preseason. Leading us off is one Travis Frederick, and look, how great is this, right? Got the start for the Cowboys at center. I thought played pretty well. It's a fantastic story to begin with, and if Fred Beard is what we've seen before, it's going to be a big boost there for the Dallas Cowboys on offense. Big ups there for Frederick being back. It's very good news in the end for the Dallas Cowboys. Move then to Cooper Rush. A little bit more of the actual on-field stuff here. Maybe the numbers aren't the best on the surface. 16 of 26 for 142. I will make note, though, when you get rid of the drops, all of a sudden that's a little bit better. 16 of 24. Had a couple throwaways as well. Now you're approaching that 70% mark. Look, Rush, I think, very clearly was the best quarterback on the Cowboys roster as a backup, I should say. So, best backup quarterback on the Cowboys last year. We'll get to Mike White, but Cooper Rush, very clearly, I think, outplayed Mike White in Week 1 of the NFL preseason. All right, guys, get us to 50K subscribers. We passed the 30K mark like I thought we were going to during Week 1 preseason. That's why we did the first half watch party there. We'll do more watch parties for the preseason games and as well for the regular season, of course. So make sure you're subscribed here. Do some fun stuff for you. So that link is below, but you're watching on YouTube, so just hit that big red button if it's your first time watching the show. Moving then to Tony Pollard, and it was less about what Pollard did, but more about how often, or really how little, he actually played. The Cowboys' usage of Tony Pollard was not of a young player who needs more reps. Tony Pollard's usage was, this is a young player who is going to be an integral part of this team this season. 4 carries, 16 yards. Cowboys like where he's at. They like Tony Pollard quite a bit. I like that a lot for Pollard and for his overall outlook. Now, he is not the second coming of Alvin Kamara yet. That's a little bit premature there, despite some media blitzes about trying to hype up Pollard, which I think is really about getting Zeke back here. But he played well. In limited reps, of course, but I thought he looked pretty solid there, ran decisively. So who should be the Cowboys' backup quarterback, or RB? Wow, backup running back. Not a great start there. Type P for Pollard, M for Morse, W for, if you would believe it's Darius Jackson, type J. If you believe it's Jordan Shun, type C, although Shun also drew a 15-yard penalty for taunting, which not opening his chances there. It's a different type of back between Pollard and Morse and Mike there. I think for Pollard, he's not going to be a 25 carry a night guy. That's not what he was in college. But as a rotational piece, I think he definitely should be the number 2 back for the Dallas Cowboys. Sticking on offense here, Michael Gallup. The numbers say just 2 receptions for 19 yards, but he had 1 series. And oh, by the way, there was a non-stat, listing deep ball that he would have caught had there not been pass interference on a blitz play. Dak and Gallup, they're showing the chemistry early. It's pretty clear to me that Michael Gallup is primed for a true breakout year. And that's not necessarily, 80 catches for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, not number 1 numbers. But if you can get him for 650, somewhere in that range, 700, that's really strong production from a number 2 receiver. I think Gallup very clearly is on the same page with Dak Prescott right now. We saw the growth as the year went on. I am excited about that connection in 2019. Let's stick with another receiver here. There were several others I do want to verbally mention. Cedrick Wilson. 3 receptions for 36 yards on 3 targets. A couple of notes on Wilson's play. Number 1, I thought he was the most consistent of the non-obvious roster locks, i.e. Michael Gallup, at wide receiver. 3 targets, caught all 3 passes. I'll also make note, and this is a big deal, Cedrick Wilson got quite a few reps on special teams. When you are figuring out that 6th receiver spot or 5th receiver spot, or if you want to go 7 deep there, you have to contribute on special teams. Wilson did that as a return man as well, so it gives us some added depth there. We'll talk about jon'vea Johnson later on, I promise you guys that. Reggie Davis, a couple of nice things there, but Wilson operated more in the slot. That's a big deal for me. They needed some more slot depth. I thought Devin Smith, who I didn't put as a winner, but definitely looked good. If I'm ranking the receiver based on how they played last night, of those 6 guys fighting for the last spot, Wilson was 1, Devin Smith, Davis, I think I'm going to go Jon'vea Johnson, then Jalen Guyton. But it's just 1 week of the preseason. Plenty of time to adjust there. There were some positive things out of all 6 guys on that list. They're battling for that potentially last receiver spot. But Wilson and then Devin Smith were the 2 that jumped out the most to me in week 1. All right, Blake Jarwin. Look, the blocking is still not great. I actually thought it was kind of bad. Going back and re-watching the game this morning. Thank you, condensed version of NFL Game Pass. The blocking's not great, but that's okay. You don't need Blake Jarwin to be a blocker. You need him to be a little bit more of an athletic, down-the-field tight end threat, and that's what he was. 5 targets, caught 4 of them for 51 yards. He is a better receiver than Dalton Schultz is by a pretty significant margin. I kind of wish Jarwin had Schultz's better blocking ability, but overall, very impressed with Blake Jarwin. He played well. He continues to trend upward there. Moving now to defense. How about Jourdan Lewis? You say, oh, just the 1 tackle, pff, whatever. But again, it's more of an in-depth look here than just pure grades for winners and losers today. Lewis, I will make note here, and this is important to me at least, and I think it should be to you too. Jourdan Lewis got reps with the 1s on the outside. Anthony Brown, Jourdan Lewis both played 2 series. The first series, Anthony Brown was the number 2 outside cornerback alongside Cheeto. More on him in a second. And Lewis was the slot corner. Then on the second series, Lewis and Brown flipped. That makes a lot of sense because you want to have those guys get reps at both spots given Byron Jones' hip injury and that they're next man up if there is an injury at cornerback. But that's a big deal for me because it means Lewis does have a chance to get more snaps. I thought he looked great against the Niners there. That 1 tackle, the only target he had thrown his way, blew it up in the backfield. So who should be the starting nickel cornerback type? L for Lewis or B for Anthony Brown? Anthony Brown is not as bad as some make him out to be. And when I say I want Jourdan Lewis to be the nickel, it's not about a knock on Anthony Brown. It's far more for me about how good I think Jourdan Lewis actually is. I think Lewis is the correct answer. All right, next up, Cheeto. He was good too. Had the 1 tackle, which I don't think NFL counted it as one, but it was a tackle for loss. It happened in the backfield. They lost a yard. There's a tackle for loss. Targeted 3 times. Had a nice pass break without just the 1 reception there. The big thing for me and for Cheeto is that he's had issues. He's often in the right spot, but doesn't get his head around in time, and he ends up letting a pass get through that he probably shouldn't, that if he turns his head around, it's a pass breakup or even an interception. He did that on a nice breakup. I think it was against Kendrick Bourne early on in the game. So I like what I saw from Awuzie. I'm hopeful he takes another step forward in his growth this offseason. All right, Taco Charlton. He's next up here as we focus on some defensive linemen. Just the 1 quarterback hit officially, and there weren't very many box score stats, but I thought he fared pretty well. There really was it doesn't show up as a hurry in the stats, but he drew a very obvious holding penalty now. I think Taco was better. I had some issues in terms of he had some poor awareness. Really, all the defensive ends on the play action, they got sucked in pretty hard, and which was not good for them. But I thought Taco overall played very well and was much better than the guy we saw last year in the regular season. 1 more defensive end we'll discuss kind of them all in a group here too. That's Joe Jackson. 4 tackles in this one. I had him getting his 2 quarterbacks hit. They only counted it as 1, but I think one of them was on a penalty. He showed flashes like a lot of these defensive ends did, but of the guys playing, I kind of thought Joe Jackson was the most productive. I was very impressed by how Jackson fared in this one. If I'm ranking the players here, it's Joe Jackson for me, and then it is very much a cluster. I thought Taco and Kerry Hyder were pretty close. Then I kind of go with Jalen Jelks and Dorrance Armstrong. Jelks had the splash play of the sack, but beyond that, I wasn't that impressed with him. He had the big impact play, and that's always important there. But all 5 guys, Armstrong, Jackson, Hyder, Charlton, and Jelks, the stats don't necessarily show it. I thought they all played pretty well, though, in the end. So I think that's a very good sign there for the Dallas Cowboys. Finally, for the winners here, Donovan Wilson. 1 tackle, 1 interception. Perfect position for the interception. I don't know what Beathard was doing. When I went back and watched it, they're very intrigued by this part too. Donovan Wilson played a lot more free safety than he did strong safety. There really weren't very many mistakes from him because he was playing so far back that There really shouldn't have been any mistakes there either. So I liked what Wilson did. I want to see him get bumped up to the 2s next week, or even just get more strong safety reps. He's not going to surpass Xavier Woods. I want to see him play a little bit more in the box overall there for the Dallas Cowboys. So who was the biggest winner versus the 49ers? Let me know in the comments section. A lot here that I know we didn't get to because there are 90 players here. It's okay. I can't get to every single player. So some of you guys mentioned Jalen Jokes. Again, I was impressed by him as well. I think he's helping himself out at minimum, be a practice squad guy there. So there are some more winners I didn't get to, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, Luke Gifford, I don't know where to put him because on-field play only, absolute winner. 2 tackles, 1 interception. He played great. I liked how aware he was. Again, I tried to warn you guys about him like a week and a half ago. Also, the biggest thing for me is that Luke Gifford worked with the 1s on special teams. That's a big deal. If you want to make the team as the 40th to 53 guy on this team, you got to work with special teams. Gifford did that very well. At the same time, he also suffered a high ankle sprain, which is in all likelihood going to sideline him for 4 to 6 weeks. So now I don't know what the Cowboys do with him. Do they make him a IR stash guy? Do they carry him in and say, okay, we're going to give you 2 weeks to get healthy? I don't know what they do with him. But Gifford, I think, was tracking towards being a surprise UDFA that makes the team. Now with the high ankle sprain, I'm not sure what they're going to do. But at minimum, I want to see him be an IR stash. I think the Cowboys can use him because, quite frankly, they're not on the loser side of it. I don't think that Justin March Lillard and Chris Covington played all that well. They bet on the play fakes. They didn't look that great in coverage, weren't that great in run support. I was kind of disappointed by those two. Gifford, though, I thought played very well just with that interception before his unfortunate injury. Now, today's show is brought to you guys by MyBookie. Head over to chatsports.com/Cowboys. Use promo code GOCowboys for a 100% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to match that. Put down $100, they're going to match that too. It's the best betting deal out there. Chatsports.com/Cowboys. Use promo code GOCowboys for a 100% deposit bonus. Time for the losers, the one you guys all mentioned, one we've discussed before. Mike White, he ain't it. That was bad, guys. 9 of 20, 87 yards, fumbled twice, lost them both, although one was negated because there was a penalty on the play. We have seen Mike White for a full preseason last year and a 1 game this year. It's just not there. Now, I am twofold here. Many of you are asking about Taron Christian. I'm sure we'll do that in the mailbag here coming up. You might as well throw him out there at quarterback and just see what he's got, even if it's just at the end of the fourth quarter. I would also like to see Mike White just get some reps with the 2s. I think that could be useful for him. At the same time, the offensive line didn't change that much between Rush and White. We'll get to the one main change, and he was terrible. With that in mind, look, Mike White, it's just not great. I think the obvious here between these two players of Cooper Rush and Mike White very clearly should be Cooper Rush. Rush outplayed Mike White by a pretty significant margin. For me, it's a no-brainer, CR. All right, jon'vea Johnson next up. He did bounce back, and I'll give him credit on that one. But 2 bad drops, and I've tried to warn you guys, there are drop concerns with jon'vea. Targeted 8 times, 2 of those were drops. Now, I'll give him credit, and this is not all bad. There definitely is some talent here. The speed, he got open pretty frequently. But it doesn't matter if you're wide open if you can't catch the ball. So hopefully you see better, hands out of jon'vea Johnson. Maybe he's a practice squad guy, but the speed is there. The route running was there. He just has to catch the damn ball. Moving now to another rookie. That's Trysten Hill, who kind of a no-show. I didn't really make much of an impact there. I don't think he was like a liability on the defensive line when I rewatched it, but he wasn't that good either. So I was pretty disappointed by Trysten Hill's play, quite frankly. And taking it one step further, Ricky Walker and Daniel Wise, too, both undrafted free agents, they were better than Trysten Hill was last night. Ricky Walker in particular was a nice surprise. Of course, it was later on in the game, but he had a couple hurries out of Virginia Tech there. He could be a practice squad guy for you this upcoming season. Let's stick with our theme here of first-year players. Michael Jackson, it wasn't great in this one. Now, I'll throw in one big caveat here. He had a tough matchup. He drew Deebo Samuel for a couple of his big mistakes. That's a matchup that favors Deebo. Like, one was almost a first-round pick. One was a mid-round pick. Jackson kind of should be the guy that loses that matchup there. But he was targeted 6 times, allowed 5 receptions for 84 yards, and a long pass interference penalty that, frankly, had Beathard not underthrown it by about 5 yards, should have been a touchdown against Jackson as well. So, disappointing start for him, but it's the first game. He'll get better, and frankly, once he gets an easier matchup, he'll probably get some confidence boosted as well. All right, maybe your biggest loser, Mitch Hyatt was garbage. I feel kind of bad, being so blunt, but he was not good. I was optimistic about him because I think I had like a 5th-ish round grade on him. He was a 6th round grade, somewhere in that range, and the Cowboys gave him a pretty significant signing bonus. He was Chaz Green-esque last night, guys. He got burnt a lot. 2 sacks plus 2 hurries. Just didn't look comfortable out there. It was bad. I am no longer optimistic at all that Hyatt ends up making the roster for the Cowboys. He's got to bounce back in a big way, or they got to throw somebody else out there at left tackle because that was not it at all. All right, next up, here's Brett Maher. Of course, we're going to talk about him. You guys knew that one was coming. Look, you can't go 3 of 4. You can't miss from 35. He got all the work on the kicks. He's got to be better. And you guys know this by now. How confident are you in Brett Maher? Graded on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like a 5 right now. He's going to make 75%, 85% at best. That's not enough, though, in the NFL. That's not good kicker production there. So for me, got to be better if you're Brett Maher. Otherwise, it's time to go call Matt Bryant already. Let's look at special teams here as well. Chris Jones, under the radar here. I mentioned this a long time ago, but when Casey Redfern signed, my first thought was not about him competing with Brett Maher. It was that, could Chris Jones get Dan Bailey'd? Redfern averaged over 49 yards per punt. Now, he came in with the backups there, but Chris Jones had a bad punt. Just keep that in mind as we look forward to Week 2, Week 3, and Week 4 of the NFL preseason. So let me know in the comment section, guys, who was the Cowboys' biggest loser versus the 49ers? 2 that jump out to me, really, Mike White and Mitch Hyatt. Those guys were not good at all. Those guys have to be better for the Cowboys. Otherwise, you're going to have more losses in the preseason, which doesn't really matter, but you want those guys to not be a complete disaster. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.